Hey up, Front Row Racing DP here, otherwise known as Dave, and on this video we've got part 2 of the qualifying fuel test and a couple of other items, desynchronization, and also part ferme glitch. These are with potential solves. Now I'm doing this video on behalf of Front Row Racing, the racing league that I'm involved with. I won't waffle on anymore because if you've seen part 1 you know what this is about. If you haven't seen part 1, go watch that, it's on my YouTube channel. Anyway, enjoy. Hope this is useful. I've started recording, Ray. Right, okay, what we've done here is, me and Ray, we retired from the last race. We didn't quit. We didn't go back to the main menu. We didn't reload the game. We just retired from the race, went back to the lobby, come straight back to Australia. Now, Ray has just said that he has gone to load his setup and it's blocked. Right? Now, part ferme is set on, but on the previous video, we were able to load our setup, but because we've stayed on the game, Ray's not been able to do his setup. Now let's see if I can do mine. I can do mine, Ray. That did happen the last time. Yeah, I can load my setup on, so I'm going to. Okay, right now, yep, you just drive until you run out of fuel, Ray. Now for Ray, it's blocked him from loading a setup. All he can change is the front wing, tyre pressures and fuel. There's no point in changing the fuel because it'll default to 6 anyway. But he can't load his own setup. Okay, yes, part ferme is set on, but he should be able to load his setup like I just did. But because we continued on into a second race, it's not allowed him to. Now let's see how much fuel I've got. Okay, I've got plus 3 laps worth of fuel, so I'm just going to go and do timed laps as Ray is. Okay, in case no one can hear Ray on the video, he is on plus 6 as standard. That's true, they should be able to hear you on the video. They should be able to. I'll just repeat it in case they can't. But yeah, okay, so with the part ferme issue that Ray has now got, he's locked to the standard setup, which is why, had we both quit the game, we both would be able to load a setup. Now when we did this earlier, the first time, that was it actually, the first race I was able to load a setup but you couldn't. The third time neither of us could. So the third race in a row neither of us could load a setup. Now, yeah. Yes. Now what will be interesting here is whether Ray gets sort of 5 or 6 laps out of his car, and when he does and goes back out onto track, will his car have 6 laps worth of fuel in, or will it say that he's got 11 or 12? And if it does say he's got 11 or 12, is he going to run out of fuel after 5 laps, or is he going to run out of fuel after 11 or 12? Or is your plus changing on the start-finish line? Yeah.
Tyres and brakes need cooling. Go easy into the next 3 corner space.
Yeah, it won't. It doesn't count the outlap. Well, mine's actually got L1 in the top right corner while I'm on my timed lap.
fastest lap. Good job.
Now, to be fair, the lap times at the moment are not blistering, but we're not going for fastest laps here. We're just focusing on fuel usage and trying to work out what's going on with the fuel indicator and whether you are getting additional fuel, whether there's a way to not get additional fuel. At the moment, the only way to not get additional fuel is to not do a lap. Although it's saying that we get additional fuel, but we're only getting the same amount of lap in. Okay, so you're locked on +5 at the moment, but keep going, see if it stays on +5, but see how many laps you actually do. So now I should be running out of fuel any moment.
Okay, we're running on fumes now. This is the last kilo or so of fuel.
There we go, out of fuel.
That's P1. You're currently in P1.
Okay, so I'm going to return to garage and see if again it's going to put me back on track
The track is pretty quiet at the moment.
plus
Perhaps we should
5
go
laps of
over
fuel.
and get a few laps in. Engine fired. We're set.
Okay. Okay. So I reckon you'll run out of fuel on your 5th time lap. Right, mine has now gone to +6, just dropped to +5 because I did 2 timed laps. But again, the question is, am I going to run out of fuel on that 2nd lap, showing that I've actually only got 3 laps worth of fuel in, or am I going to have enough fuel for 3 or 4 laps?
Conditions should remain dry. We will keep you informed of any changes to the weather.
Now it should drop to +5 as soon as I'm over the finish line. Sorry, +4. Bang on the start finish line. See, now what would be interesting as well, I don't think we'll do a video for this next theory, but Ray, for example, has started off on the standard setting with +6 laps worth of fuel, and he's, by the looks of it, going to get 5 timed laps out of his fuel. My fuel light's on at the same point on the 1st time lap. But my theory now is, if on my setup, if I had it set saved as having +6 laps worth of fuel, would it still add the additional fuel or not? Now, we won't do a video on that one, but it's something that we're just curious about, because the reason we won't do a video is because essentially that's what Ray's testing now, but not with a saved setup. Okay, so Ray's red light, fuel light has come on his 5th time lap. He may get to complete it. Okay, I'm on my 2nd time lap on this run, and I'm going to run out of fuel near the end of the lap again, I reckon. Although it says I've got plus... Oh, I locked it up, going straight on. Although it does say that I've got +4 of fuel. So at the moment, it does look as though, with a loaded setup, it is showing that it's adding additional fuel, but physically you're not getting additional fuel. Or if you are, it's a minimal amount. Oh, I'm out of fuel. Okay, so you've ran out of fuel at the end of lap 5. I've run out of fuel at the end of my 2nd hot lap, a little earlier than I actually ran out of fuel previously. So although it's showing that I've got an additional lap or 2 of fuel in, I actually physically haven't got an additional lap or 2 of fuel in. I'm running out at pretty much the same point. Right, Ray, return to... I'm going to say return to garage, Ray. Go back out on track. See how many it says you've got. Plus 12. Now Ray's has gone to plus 12 because as standard the car has 6 laps worth of fuel. It's now put an additional 5 or 6 laps worth of fuel in because that's what he's just done. The question is though, will he get... Right, okay, so it has put sort of 5 laps worth of fuel in extra on the info screen. The question is though, has he now got 11 laps worth of fuel in, or has he only got 5? The problem is we've only got 6 minutes of the session left, so he's probably only going to get 4-5 laps in maybe. If he can do those 5 laps and his red light comes on, he started off with 6 laps worth of fuel. If he does 5 laps and the red light hasn't come on, he has got additional fuel, we just won't know how much.
All clear the garage, please.
Right, now I'm going to go back out on track and see how much fuel I start off with. But any moment within the next 2 to 3 minutes, the video clip is going to come to an end because of the time limit. Okay, mine's gone up to plus 8, so it has essentially added more fuel in, but hopefully we'll get round far enough before the video cuts off to see if the fuel light comes on, which on the previous 2 runs was part way through the first timed lap. So if my fuel light does come on, then basically we could say, right, okay, ignore what it says in your info box regarding your level of fuel. However, if Ray does 5 or 6 laps and his fuel light does not come on, then that could potentially be an issue. But remember, we didn't reset our games here, so that could be sort of the start of the actual issue. Well, not the actual issue, because the issue's there when we both restarted, but if his has got 11-12 laps worth of fuel, it could be caused by the not reloading of the game. Okay, we've done about 14 minutes of the session, so we've got about a minute until it saves. If we don't get far enough into the recording before the fuel light comes on, I will post in the comments about what did happen. Or I could try and quickly press record again and add the clip on. I might do that actually. No, it doesn't work that way, Ray. Your PlayStation 4 automatically records 15-minute clips. Well, no, it automatically constantly records you can tell it to save at any point and it'll save the last 15 minutes. But when you double click the record, it'll record for 15 minutes and save it. You then have to double click it again to set it off recording again. But anyway, okay, my fuel light is on at a similar point as previous, so I have only got essentially enough fuel in to do an out lap, one timed lap, and then run out of fuel on the second time lap. Ray, how are you getting on? Okay, as Ray was saying that, the video clip came to an end. What Ray was just saying there was he's done an out lap and he's on his second time lap, and it now says he's on +10. I don't think we're going to have enough time to see whether his fuel light will come on, but we'll keep going and see what happens. Now, interestingly, my fuel's gone back up to +6, but I have had a very slow lap there. The engineers just said we're running on fumes, so we're going to run out of fuel fairly soon. Okay, Ray says he should get 2 more laps in, so he may get onto his 5th lap. All we need is for that fuel light to come on, Ray. I think I'm out of fuel. I am. So that's me done then. So for all of my runs, I've pretty much ran out of fuel at almost the same part on the track. Even though it says I've got additional fuel in, I've pretty much ran out of fuel after the same distance travelled.
Just 30 seconds left in the session.
It's definitely going to be tight if you go off there, Ray. Come on, 20 seconds. You can make it. You can make it. Oh, it's going to be close. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, is this the 5th lap, Ray? Okay, he thinks it's the 5th lap. What does it say in your top right corner? Lap 9. Okay, it might only be your 4th, but we'll see if the fuel light comes on. You may not have had enough time, really. What's your info display on? So yours is sat at +10 for the last 2 or 3 laps. Okay. Yeah. Well, at least we know the red fuel light works. Oh, his fuel light's on. Okay, so although it started Ray off with plus 11, 12 laps worth of fuel, on his 5th lap his fuel light is on. So although it's showing as having additional fuel, he hasn't got additional fuel. Right, we could put that one to bed. Agreed, Ray? Thank fuck for that. I don't think we bother with that one. I mean, let's put it this way. If, in summary, it goes like this. If you're going to go from playing the game to online, like playing an online lobby, to joining a league race, you've got to turn your game off first. and reload it. So you reset everything. After that, in qualifying, do not adjust your fuel. Ideally, you should have your car set up with the right amount of fuel in for your qualifying run. If you adjust it, it will default to 6 laps. What I don't think we've checked this, whether when it defaults to 6 laps at the start, whether you still get 3 laps or 6 laps. But advisably, do not adjust your fuel. Now, when you go out on track, however many laps you do, it's going to add that extra amount of fuel on your info display. However, you do not physically get the extra fuel from the test that we have done. Is that right, Ray? Okay, is there anything else that I've missed? Not that I can think of. Right, fuck it. I'm going to go and make a drink. End of video. End of test.